Hey there, card folks. Speed Robo here, and welcome to a video. This is a video about Wartide. This is a small indie card game. It's currently in development. It's currently coming out, but I've been really enjoying playing in the online league on Tabletop Simulator. Shout out to Grey Wolf, fantastic guy, fantastic developer. I've been in the Wartide community for 3 years, I think, at this point. It's been a long time. I've been playing the game for a very long time, and I've been really enjoying this online league. And right now, I'm top ranked player in it. So just, I'm going to toot my own horn on that. And I'm going to go over in this current meta for the Spring 2023 Online Wartide League what are the top 5 and the bottom 5 cards in each faction in Wartide. I'm not going to talk about the factionless cards, because if I did, the factionless cards would all be like every faction's bottom 5. Because they're factionless and they can be used in anything, they're inherently weaker. That's like the point. That's like the whole point. So, we're not going to talk about factionless today. We're just going to talk about it. And we're going to get started with the best faction in the game. We're going to get started with the best faction in the game, then the middle faction, and then the worst faction. So, what do I mean by that? I'm going to tell you flat out. I'm going to rank each faction right now. There's 3 tiers. There is, yes. There's the yes tier. The faction in the yes tier is just like, yes. Then there's the can tier. The faction in the can tier, it can, right? Like, if you're in the can tier, you can. And then there's the can't tier. And the can't tier is, this faction simply cannot do anything. When I was going into this video, I actually thought that there would be one faction in each tier, but I don't agree with that. There's one faction in the yes tier. It's Imperia. Imperia is the best faction by landslide. But then 2 factions are actually in the can tier, I think. Null is like a can plus, and Kagawa is like a can minus. So I was basing this off of, because I haven't played Kagawa much, if at all. So I was basing this off of what I saw people doing with Kagawa currently. But as I was going through Kagawa's cards tonight, as I was going through them, I saw cards that I've literally seen nobody play. And I'm just sitting here and I'm like, why is nobody doing this? I might be missing something. If I am missing something and I'm wrong on what the best cards in Kagawa are, it's fully possible because it's the faction I have the least experience with. Then Kagawa is like solidly in the can't tier. Kagawa cannot do anything if I'm wrong about these cards and they're secretly bad. So, that out of the way, let's just get into Imperia. Let's talk about the top 5 cards in Imperia, starting with the 5th best Imperia card. It's Rover. So, a lot of people are going to be like, wait, what are you talking about? Dude, you're high. Rover is easily the best card. I think Rover is just okay. So I've been told that rulings-wise, this ability only triggers at the start of your turn and only pops off the units that are there at the start of their turn, even though it says units that start their turn, not units that start the turn. But if that's the case, then Rover's, like, fine. It has plays. You can do things with it. Currently, Rover's just, like, it's okay. It's good. It's good. Movement good. Very cheap. But there's cards that are clearly better than it. And moving on to cards that are clearly better, Sniper. Sniper is absolutely cracked and insane. There's so many ways to like boost this guy's movement and range, and just 2 range and 2 damage for 2 resources is cracked. I don't think I have to tell you that. This guy is literally better draft soldier, and we will talk about that, believe me. So Sniper, 4th best card in the game. For Imperia. Well, actually, yeah, in the game, because Imperia is the best faction in the game. So 4th best card in the game. 3rd best draft. When you're playing Imperia, you're not going to worry about resources. I'll talk more about, like, general Wartide, like, where my general Wartide strategy is, because it does affect these rankings. And I know a lot of people don't necessarily agree with my general Wartide strategies. But basically, in Wartide, well, we'll talk about it when we get to the bad cards. But this is just, like, basically free tutor your deck for your best cards, spoilers, I guess, and summon as many of it as you want. Yeah. Next, number 2, Draft Soldier. So I did lie, it's not your best card, it's your 2nd best card. Draft Soldier is cracked. For 1 resource of basically whichever resource you want, either dudes or dollars, have the best unit in the game. So why is Draft Soldier the best unit in the game? It's because it's the cheapest, and it does everything. The fact that it doesn't have to, like, be in the same hex as whatever it's attacking is great. The 1 range is insane. The 2 health is insane. It doesn't matter that it has 1 damage, because damage is sticky in this game. It doesn't go away at the end of the turn. It doesn't go away at the end of the battle. It stays there forever, and you have to put the counters on the cards. This is always doing something. This is always making something happen. Draft Soldier is actually nuts. And the thing is that in Wartide, you don't have to deploy your stuff until your opponent gets near you, and your opponent has to move up and come near you. So if you're moving forward in Wartide, you have to understand that the unit that's moving forward is going to die. Guaranteed. It's not going to do anything. It's going to get you 0 value. Your opponent's going to play something in front of it on their side of the field during their turn, and they are going to kill it. Guaranteed. No matter what. So how do you make the most out of that? You force your opponent to deploy something that costs more than whenever they kill it, and then you kill it, and then you go up in value because you win that trade. Draft Soldier costing 1 is literally the best unit in the game for this, and because it has 2 health, your opponent does not have a choice. They have to play something that costs more than Draft Soldier in order to deal with it effectively. You are always winning Draft Soldier trades. Always. No matter what. This is the best unit in the game. And your number 1 card is Captain Bradley's Shot. This react is broken, because it can kill basically anything during the opponent's turn, whenever the opponent tries to exist, for a measly cost of 3 men. Cracked. I have literally won entire matches because my opponent tries to play a thing, I say no, shot, and my opponent says, well, I guess that's game. That's happened 3 times. Yeah. This card is insane. Why is it a react? I don't know. Could not tell you. Actually, just completely broken. Absolute, the most broken card in the game. Now we're going to talk about Imperia's worst cards, starting with its 5th worst, Winston Heavy Tank. Now you might look at this card's stats, and you might say, this seems pretty good. It has Splash as well. How's the opponent going to deal with it? Well, I will tell you how the opponent is going to deal with it. So first off, the fact that it costs this many resources means you're going to be doing nothing in the lead up to trying to play this. And keep in mind, all of your land cards cost 5 to deploy, which means you are going to have to spend resources to try and generate resources to try and play this. Meanwhile, your opponent's playing Draft Soldiers, and they're coming for you. You're going to lose that. You cannot play this. And then hope, no, you won't. You will not play this by the time Draft Soldier gets to you. And Lord have mercy on your soul if you're trying to play a tank deck in a null matchup. You will not. Nope. You're going to play this, and your opponent's going to say, well, let's just say we'll get to what your opponent's going to say when we talk about null, okay? But let's put it this way. If you get this card on the board, in the miracle that you get this card on the board, I guarantee you, your opponent is going to instantly answer it, and it will not be on the board. This will get you 0 value. It will kill maybe 1 thing, and then it will cease to exist. This card is terrible. Moving on. Oh wow, it's another tank. Everything I said about the previous tank, except this one doesn't have armor, so it's worse. Moving on. Expand the Trenches. So, Expand the Trenches is interesting. It is a card that I do see occasionally maybe being worth it. But in 99.99999% of your matchups, this is going to be a dead card in your hand that does nothing. It only works against null. It only does anything against null. If you're fighting another Imperia, or which you will, like Imperia's the best one, you'll fight another Imperia. It's not going to do anything. You're just going to get out Draft Soldiered because this isn't a Draft Soldier, and then you're going to die. And the other thing that's going to happen, okay, just soak this in, is if you're fighting Kagawa, this is a dead card against Kagawa, which granted, in the Kagawa matchup, probably doesn't matter too much. But still, you don't want to have that happen. And on top of it, it costs $3 specifically? Why? What does this do except to mill a card out of my deck? Not much. Pretty bad. Moving on, second worst card, Tank Traps. This costs 5 specific resources to deploy. It is a field that does not generate resources. Units, not enemy units, any unit with a damage stat of 4 or more cannot enter this field. So if you're actually trying to play tanks, don't. Just buy. And secondly, so your opponent, if they're playing cards with a damage stat of 4 or more, they're already playing a bad deck. And the reason why is that most cards with a damage stat of 4 or more cost more than 5 to play. And any card that costs more than 5 to play, unless its effect is like god tier amazing, is generally not going to be worth your time. Because if you're doing that, you would rather be playing a land, because a land card not only generates you resources, but it puts a card in your hand. So not only is this a land that doesn't generate resources, it doesn't stop anything good in the entire game. Because cards with a stat of 4 or more are inherently bad, because not only are they just going to get countered by a react and stop existing instantly by your opponent, because your opponent will play a react and just screw it over. This is really bad. It's so bad. It costs specific resources too, why? And the worst card in Imperia. Field Medic, you knew this was coming. Just look at him. He costs twice as much as Draft Soldier, for some reason. For 1 health less, and an ability that does not do anything. I don't have words to describe this. This is the card you get in your starter deck that you look at, throw in the trash, and immediately replace with more of this guy. Instantly. Unplayable. Like, I can see a reality in which tank traps might be useful. I do not see a reality in which Field Medic has any function. Alright, let's talk about Null! Let's talk about Null's best cards. Number 5. Priestess of the Void. I know I was just talking about how cards that cost more than 5 are inherently bad, but hear me out. Field Destruction is so good that it's the one thing in the game that's actually worth it. Because not only does Field Destruction instantly delete all of your opponent's stuff that's on it, it deletes all of it. It's just gone. No more. Goodbye. But it also turns the game board into a, like, cereal box maze that your opponent has to navigate in order to get to your home field and win. Which is what you want as the Null player. If you're playing Null, you're not here to win the game. You're here to drag it out into an insufferable slogfest that your opponent will scoop from. That's your win condition. Making your opponent scoop because they don't want to play the game anymore. That's what you're doing. Because your control tools, including your Field Destruction, including your reacts, are so powerful, you're just gonna stall the game. Like, this is what you're doing. And Priestess of the Void helps you do that. Because blowing up fields is good. Moving on. What if Priestess of the Void was better? Destroy any field anywhere for 7. Yeah, that's really good. Make your opponent not have land cards that generate resources. Guess what? I like that. Sounds good. Number 3. Simplification. So, Null's reacts are absolutely insane and the best in the game. React. Destroy target allied field for 5. Oh, bro, I'm a tank. I'm gonna move on this field because I have to. Bye. See ya. Have a nice never. See you later. You're just crazy good. I just delete an opponent from existence. Speaking of deleting from existence, what if that cost 1 less and you don't have to blow up one of your own fields for it? Ta-da! Absolutely broken. Unbelievably broken. So broken that I just cannot describe how broken this is. This is like what if Shot was better. That's how good this is. Holy smokes. Best card in Null, hands down, Temple of Sacrifice. So, Temple of Sacrifice, its destruction ability is a react speed. It doesn't say that it's a react speed. You just have to kind of know from rulings and asking the developer that it's react speed. I don't know how you're supposed to know it's react speed, but it's react speed. That's a fun fact, isn't it? Secondly, this produces sauce. It produces tentacle sauce for you, which is really good, and you want that to happen. And the best part about this is that this land costs 4. You can play that. This is the only land in the game that generates resources that you play turn 1. Just You're playing a land turn 1 that's broken. Beyond, it's just so broken. Alone. It doesn't even need the react. And it's still broken. It's still the best card in Null. This card is insane. Alright, on to their worst cards, because, man, Null has some stinkers. Number 5, Null Sigil. This costs more than, like, one of your land cards. And all it does is it gets you a card. I'll just play a land, thanks. Deuces. Because playing a land gets you a card. No thank you. I am good. Moving on. Sacrifice. Spend 1, kill a unit, gain 4. No. I'm good. Thanks. I don't want to go -3 to go, like, +1. Cool. A little more something. Do the opposite of what your deck is trying to do. No thanks. Tendril of Worship. So both of the ones with Divinity counters I initially pulled to the side because they're both bad. But this one's worse because the other one, like, it does it based on power and has 6 health base. So it's not going to get instantly Captain Bradley's shotted or, you know, the other Kagawa react, which we'll talk about, and die immediately. But this one will, because it starts with 1 health, which is, like, really bad. And it costs 6, which is really bad. And I'm not going to use this. Thank you. And the worst Null card, Dark Tendril. Oh my goodness. I cannot describe how bad this card is. This card does not do anything. It just doesn't do anything. It has 1 movement, so it's never going to go anywhere. It has 0 range, so it can't fight anything. It has 1 health, which means it dies to everything. And no, Grey Wolf, you're wrong. Its armor doesn't help. Ever. It's never going to help. It's not, like, it can't fight a Draft Soldier, because it's going to move into the Draft Soldier's Hex, it's going to deal 1 damage, and say, oh, I guess that's it. And then the Draft Soldier is going to say, cool. And it's going to walk away and shoot it, and then another Draft Soldier is going to come up and kill this thing. Because, yes, that's what's going to happen. This does not do anything. This is unplayable. Moving on. Let's talk about Kagawa. So I've talked a lot of shit about Kagawa, but I think I found cards in Kagawa that are, like, actually good and make the faction, like, quite good. So let's get started with the 5th best card, Transvoid Receiver. So this costs, like, the normal amount that you would expect a land to cost, around 5, which is totally fine. It generates resources, which is great, and mech units, basically all of your units are mechs, you control may be deployed to this field. That's pretty good. It gives you fast deployment. It allows you to, like, answer your opponent's stuff a little bit quicker. This is overall quite good. Yeah, this one's pretty good. It's pretty good. We like to see it. 4th best card, Rocket Battery. This is, by virtue of its existence, the best equipment that you have. Because its range is 3, and that's nice. You want that. That is what you want this for, and it's, like, stacking multiple things damage. If your opponent has no brain, and they don't spread their guys out, then this can help. But if your opponent has brain on, and they don't cluster their guys, like, its other effect isn't really going to do anything. But, like, this is your best equipment, pretty much, but just... yeah, this is the best equipment you have. Pretty much none of your other equipment is, like, worth using, honestly. This is what you got. Now onto the cards that are, like, genuinely really good. This guy re-equips your equipment, which you're going to need because your opponent's going to kill your shit a lot. And it does it for free, which is good because you don't want to have to pay your re-equipment costs. I lied. We're not in the cards that are actually good yet. This is just fixing Kagawa's massive flaws. The fact that Kagawa is completely dependent on equipment means that it's really, really, really bad. Because equipment cards suck. Fun fact. This makes them suck slightly less. And it costs 3, which is good. And its stats are good, which is good. You want that. You want this. This is nice. Alright, now, for real, onto the cards that are actually good in Kagawa. Lost Warp. It is a field that doesn't produce resources, but it does only cost 3. Remove target unit from play. If Lost Warp leaves play, return target card to its owner's home field. Did your opponent play a card that you don't like? No, they didn't. Solve that problem. And because you're using this as, like, your main land, because you should, your backline lands that are really hard to take out unless you're playing against Null, then they can. But if Null uses their removal, their, like, hard removal with little less something on this, it means they aren't killing your resource generation, which is also good. So anyway, you're going to play this in your backline. It's going to be good. This is pretty good. Is it as good as Shot? No. Is it as good as any of Null's removal? No. But, by God, you're trying. You're Kagawa. I take it back. Kagawa still can't. Kagawa can't. I lied. I got excited when I found this. No, this is still bad. It's worse than Null's removal. It's worse than Imperia's removal. It's like worse Parachute Man. Let's be real. I'm gonna be real. It's what you got, and you're gonna use it because it's what you got, because you don't have anything else that you can use that's good because you're Kagawa. Oh, that's upsetting. Yeah. Anyway, moving on to their best card. This is a react in Kagawa. That is good. We got one, guys. It's actually good. React. Move target unit to any field. That unit takes 2 damage. We got him. We can actually counter answer opponents' plays. Holy shit. It's good. You can do things. Holy crap. Move an opponent's card out of the way and kill it. Yes. Yes, please. One of those. Thank you. Holy smokes. Did your opponent move and their unit, and then are they trying to shoot something? Make it go away? Just make it go away. Put it in front of the thing that's going to kill it next turn. Deal it 2 damage to kill it. Yes! Does it cost 5? And Into the Void cost 4? Yes! Does it cost 5 and Captain Bradley's Shot cost 3? Yes! But by God, we're trying. Kagawa's trying. Should this cost like 2? Based on Into the Void and Bradley's Shot? Absolutely. But it's what we got. And by God, we're gonna play it. Now, on to the worst Kagawa cards, which is all of them. But getting started with the most worst. It's Shizuka Mamoru. Honey, you cost 8, and your stats are trash. You are going to die before you can equip shit. You are bad. No. Heavy Mega Chassis. Hey, remember what I said about tanks? What if their stats were worse? Ayo, baby, woo! No, we don't play this. Third worst. This equipment costs 2, and it gives you 1 armor. I'll just play the equipment that gives me 3 health. Cool. I'm not gonna use this. On to the second worst. Mech Wolf Chassis, baby. You cost 6. Your stats are ass. Get out of my deck. And the worst Kagawa card. Incoming Warp Station. This is a land. It costs 4 and 2 specific resources. You can spend 2 more to teleport a unit you control to this field. You are not going to want to do that. Ever. You, A, will not have the resources to do that. B, the units you actually want to play will have their own teleport abilities anyway. And C, this produces no resources. No thank you. I am good. I am not going to play this. Ever. And neither should you. And that is the top 5 and bottom 5 of each faction in Wartide. Thank you very much for watching. I've been SpeedRobo. Don't like, comment, and subscribe. I don't really post anything on this channel anymore. So don't smash that like button. Do not destroy that subscribe button. And I will not see you soon. Goodbye.